We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's live episode of Speak On It with yours truly, Richard Karr. I have a most prestigious panel of guests joining me tonight. As always, this show is all about you joining us in our conversation to speak live on the topics that are most passionate to you. It's open forum tonight. It's no specific topic. We're going to speak on the topics that matter to us most tonight, and there's a lot of that going on in the news. Once again, I'm your host, Richard Karr, and we've got Chef Steve Neal. You might see his thumb all in the front of my counselor's face, who joins us on the mic tonight. That's Chef Stevie Neal. He's a regular guest on our Speak On It show. We've also got a very special guest. First time he and I have been on the mic together. This is Mr. Mike Bond, who joins us here tonight. He is a finance and real estate expert.
Mike.
And we've also got my esteemed co-host, Mr. Stephen Bird, attorney at law, joining me here on the mic tonight. Can you guys hear me?
Very well.
Can
Absolutely.
I hear you? Mike, you need to get that mic right in front of you, man.
I'm saying, Mike.
I do this every time.
You sound like dead Mike right about now. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show tonight. In the background, the sounds of Les McCann and Eddie Harris trying to make it real compared to what my favorite theme song for this show, right? Check out the lyrics.
Everybody now trying to make it real compared to what.
And this is a show you can do it on. This is called Speak On It, heard exclusively here on LA Talk Live each and every Friday evening, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the world leader in internet broadcasts. I'm so happy to be here tonight. We've got some very special guests in our studio tonight. They're going to be launching a brand new show. Y'all going to want to stay tuned for that. That's going to be real hot. This station continues to mushroom and grow exponentially beyond the very barriers of traditional broadcasts out into the stratosphere. If you're on a satellite right now, you got internet access. Go to www.latalklive.com. But tonight, we're going to be broadcasting from our PhiladelphiaTalkLive.com affiliate. So, Philadelphia, stand up tonight and tell your fam and friends to go to www.philadelphiatalklive.com to tune in for the live action that's about to take place next.
That's
Gentlemen,
you too, New Jerusalem.
now, yeah, well, we got JerseyTalkLive.com.
You're right, that's right.
So let me give that up, too. That's Chef Neal, ladies and gentlemen.
New
Welcome to the
Jerusalem.
show. As always, my brother, what's going on with you, man? It's so good to see you.
Same old,
here
same
in the
old.
studio, joining me on the mic on a Friday night.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, what a thing, what a
Around
thing.
me.
We got the Van
Jersey
Eric
cat.
of rock and roll in the studios tonight as well. Get on in there, Van Eric. Let's get you on the mic. Play with that mic cord a little bit. Somebody probably shook it loose. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
I meant stick it deeper into the microphone. Beat the mic.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I got the new show that we got going on, man.
Yeah, let's talk
you know
about
what I
that.
mean? It's Industry Hour.
Wow.
Not
Yeah.
Industry Hour.
Industry Hour.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Excited.
Yeah. So
What's the show
I'm
about,
gonna
man?
Only an
you know
hour?
what I mean?
For the industry?
Yeah,
Only an
that's
hour?
that's
Man.
all. That's what I'm going to give right now. If you want to, want to know more, stay tuned, and you'll be hearing about it.
That show's
throughout.
coming up in 2014. We've got a lot of
That's
great
right.
new programming coming up in 2014. You're going to want to stay tuned for that. The studio is filled. The station is filled with great, incredible minds. That's one thing about LA Talk Live. We have some of the greatest minds who visit us on a weekly basis. Think about it this way. 27, 28 different shows each week, right? 2 to 3 guests each show. So now we're talking about 75 hosts. 100 guests per show, or at least per week, with all the guests that come in on all those shows. 400 to 500 guests a month. Each one of them having at least 1,000 to 5,000 Facebook friends alone. Well, that's exponential right there. Think about it. We are 5 million listeners and viewers strong each and every month. This show, in and of itself, has over 400,000 listeners. I want to applaud you all and thank you for tuning in tonight on a most prestigious occasion, because I've got some gentlemen on the mic who normally aren't here when I start this show, except my counselor who joins me each and every week. Again, a round of applause for Stephen Burt, attorney at law. Our official sponsors for tonight, StephenBurtLaw.com. Steve, welcome back, my brother.
Hey, man, it's good to be here.
Let me bring the music down a little bit, man, and get you in here, man, because we've got some heavy duty brains on the board with us tonight, man, on the panel tonight.
Fisk.
Let's not exaggerate.
Fisk University in the house. Fisk University in the house today.
That would be correct. Yes.
Representing.
That's right.
All right.
Let's not make light of that.
Upper Darby in the house represent. Oh, I'm sorry.
Some Darby folk up in here?
No, I mean, you know he's from Langhorne. Claiming. No, he's from East Philly. Trying to talk about East Philly. You know he's from Camden.
Let's give a shout out to your relative, man, Rich in the house tonight too, man. Joining us here in the
big
studio
up
of
to
LA Talk
Rich,
Live, no
Philly
doubt.
Rich.
Rousing round of applause for him as well. He's got his lovely wife here. She's going to be starting her show soon. Producer extraordinaire in the studio as well, man. They're about to leave out right now, but that's all good. We're going to keep it live and going on tonight's show. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give out the number to the studio. We have no specific forum tonight. It's going to be open forum. I'm going to be opening the mics up to these gents tonight to talk about a wide range of topics. We want you to tune in, and we want you to give us a call. Not just yet, because we're going to open up our phone lines at the bottom of the hour this week. The number to the studio, write this down right now, 323-473-3100. Again, 323-473-3100. Good night, y'all. We got some folks who are taking off from the studio tonight. That's all good. But again, 323-473-3100. If you'd like to call in, hold your calls until the bottom of the hour. After the break, we'll be taking your calls. Right now, I've got to defer to my esteemed colleague, Stephen Burt, attorney at law, and also the official sponsor for tonight's episode of Speak On It. Speak On It, Stephen.
Hey, thanks, Rich. Well, let me start with this and give a shout out to Speak On It, and true to LA Talk Live reputation of being a leader in the industry and an innovator. Let me say we were ahead of the game last week when I came in here to speak on the sheriff's department and how they're putting it down in the prisons. Remember that?
Yes, indeed,
Guess what happened this week? U.S. Attorney filed charges against the sheriff and the sheriff's department for what they're doing in the county jails. And I got to say that I'm going to take credit for being the first to bring that out there to speak on that.
If you're looking for a round of applause.
Ahead of the U.S. Attorney's office dropping those charges, I spoke on that shit.
I hear you.
And 18 sheriff's deputies were arrested, I think it was Tuesday morning, for the ridiculous behavior that they have inside the jail. And as I mentioned last week, the reason I was speaking on it is that I happened to experience it firsthand on some little BS.
Haven't we all?
Yeah. So
haven't we all?
But I got a call, I think early Tuesday morning, and somebody was telling me, man, turn on the TV. Everything you just told us about what's going down at Twin Towers with the sheriffs and all of that is on the news right now, and they're getting prosecuted by a black U.S. attorney. So I got to say, hey, you know what I mean?
Big ups.
Who was that U.S. attorney?
Can we get a round of applause
I forgot
for that?
his name. Hold on a second. Hold on. I got it right here.
He deserves it.
Oh, yeah. He deserves a round. He deserves a standing ovation. I want to stand up and give him something on that one. Man.
A lot of us been waiting a long time.
Well, because we know that the California prison system is atrocious. It's absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know any place where the people on the inside of the prison run the outside. How does that happen?
Yeah.
Only because of the gangs that they allow to fester up
That's
in
right.
these
It's
prisons.
a special place. I've never seen anything like
dude.
Never
that.
have I seen that, man. This is ridiculous.
They perpetuate it. Matter of fact, they promote it. And what I
just
was
amazing.
telling some of my people, what's up, Shock? That soon as you get in, now we know there is true like little division between SAs and brothers on the outside with the gangs and all
Only
that.
in California.
But they further promote that. As soon as you get in, they separate you up by those. Like,
Only in California.
We've been in holding cells since whenever, getting shipped to the county, brown and black alike, kicking it, getting along. Everybody on the same team. The true enemy, as we all know, is the sheriff.
Right.
But when they get in there, they divide you up. Yep. And just like they do us on the outside, they divide up resources and make you fight over that resources, and they create kind of this little rivalry.
Classic.
You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
It's historic. That's right.
No question about it. I've been unfortunate to be incarcerated myself, and
Do tell.
Not only on this side of California, but in New Jersey. And one thing I learned Spanish in New Jersey, in the prison system. Now, that people say here think that's amazing because I went to Spanish community every Monday.
Is that
Whether I spoke Spanish or not, I went there every Monday, and the Spanish people were looking at me crazy, and I thought I was crazy for going. But ahora yo hablo español. Y primera vez yo no puedo. And right now I speak Spanish because I went to Spanish community every Wednesday. Now, in this prison system, you go to Spanish community, you get your ass beat as a black man.
That's crazy.
Beat the shit out of.
That's crazy.
And that's crazy. That I can't even go learn something from another culture while I'm there with that culture.
Unfortunately, it's by design.
I know it's by design.
Definitely
no question.
by design.
And the streets are the same way. The streets are exactly the same as the prison system.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's amazing out here. It really is. It's amazing. Don't get into trouble out here. Don't get into trouble.
I wanted to revisit the conversation we had, Counselor Burt, about your experience. Now, we left off last week with what I thought was a very interesting tease, and that is the question of an attorney in the prison system and how that experience must have felt for yourself to be a member of the law, one who practiced the law, and wind up in the belly of the beast itself and firsthand see the incredible injustices that occur to human beings and Americans, for that matter, once they are trapped in the system, let's just call it, and I mean the prison system, and let's keep it real, the industrial
True that.
prison system.
Yeah, the industrial prison complex. I mean, that's what it is. It's a for-profit business at this point. Sure, and so that's the forces that's driving it. The taxpayer. Well, this is what we left off with talking about last week. Shock was here. Was the question that I posed as a hypothetical, but what I ultimately ended up going in for was driving with a suspended license. My license was suspended for something totally ridiculous, but it's my fault. I mean, to the extent that I could have taken care of it had I been more diligent. But the question was, as a person who fails to pay a fine, does that make me a threat to society where it necessitates spending taxpayer resources to keep me locked up? And I was in there for 5 days.
More than the fine.
Right.
5 days?
5 days.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I wasn't supposed to be in there for 5 days, and that's one of the things that was brought up in this U.S. attorney's charges is that they're holding people beyond when they're supposed to be out. Now, what I got sentenced to was a 20-day sentence, reduced down to serving 2, but by the time I went to court, I had already done 3 days, so the judge gave me 3 days credit, so I was actually supposed to be processed right out. Judge told me that. Public defender told me that. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll ride it out, go down to the county, get processed out, have somebody pick me up there. Well, when I got there, that's not what happened. So, I'd been there once before on a warrant, similar type of situation where I just processed in and processed right back out. It was about a 12 to 18 hour cycle. So this time when I got to the point, and usually the first time when I went, where that decision got made was everybody that came in went through the enrollment process, if you will. And then when it got to the point of having to strip down and take showers, those that were going to actually do some time, they went this way, and those who were just getting processed out went that way. So this time when they told me to strip down and go to the shower, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm supposed to be getting out of here. You know what I'm saying? But it's only so much questioning you can do, because if you open your mouth, you will get your ass beat. If they give you a couple times to like speak back, and if you don't adhere to that, it's an ass whooping in store for you. And
only 1 or 2 times to speak on it.
Exactly. While I was there, I saw a white guy. We all saw a white guy get his ass whooped for talking back. He wasn't posing no threat to nobody, but you know how white people sometimes have a different sense of entitlement.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I have the white of way, pal.
Yeah.
I call it the white of way.
You have the
I
white
got
away.
the white of way, pal.
Well, I'm about to beat that white ass.
Right.
And so to beat the white of way out of you.
Yeah, and he was talking to it was a Latina deputy, and she kept telling him what to do, and he was like, I don't have to do that. And she said, you want to get up and go into sell whatever it was. There was like we were all in one big pen, and she told him go, and he did. He jumped right up and went in there like they were going to offer him a steak dinner in there or something. I don't know what he thought was going to happen. He rolled in there, and I didn't even see her hit no signal or nothing. I don't know how the word got out, but in the next 2 minutes, these deputies came from everywhere, including this gigantic brother that looked like the Hulk in black.
Looked like
gigantic.
the Green Mile.
Dude,
Looked like the Green Mile.
The straight up dude.
Gigantor.
Did y'all hear about?
Hold on, that's ladies and gentlemen. Let's give a round of applause to my good friend, the inimitable Shakim Williams,
Well.
who also joins us here on our panel tonight.
Wow,
what
what
a
a panel.
Speak on it. What a panel.
What a panel! Did you guys hear? And thank you very much, Rich. And it's always a blessing to be here on.
I
Speak
find
on
those
It.
claps real fast, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
I
show them
have
that.
problems. But
Yeah.
did y'all hear? Obviously, y'all heard about the deputies being charged or indicted.
That's what we're
This
talking
is
about.
exactly
talking
what
about it. And,
Counselor Burt has spoke on.
Yeah, and they said it's been going back for probably 20, 30
Come
years.
on, Gates. Gates was in.
So it's like, okay, when is it that the people are going to realize, people, we can have these conversations. It's like, but people are not coming together to stop it. They're allowing it to happen because of fear. They're afraid to, do something because they don't want their ass beat.
Justifiable fear, by the way. It's
Yeah.
totally justifiable now.
Justifiable, non-justifiable. But when do you stand up?
Well, the average citizen would tell you that they pay their taxes in the expectation that U.S. attorney would act sooner. Now, whatever the impetus of him doing that at this point, we applaud him. But I know my expectations when I go to work every day and pay my taxes. That those things I shouldn't have to protest for my basic rights.
I'll tell you why. This is coming
So
up
what
now.
makes you think that's a right, though?
Oh, it's a right in our Constitution. There's no question about that.
They did the Constitution over again, though, too, in 1891. They did it again. They had the second Constitution that applies to the United States, not America Constitution that we had back in 1776, but they had another one in 1891. But we don't. It's like saying that if you don't know your rights, and the rights that's been taken from you as well, we have this fictitious thing in our brain that under the Bill of Rights, under the Constitution, that we have this, but people don't know that they did it again.
Oh, and we do, and you're speaking to actually a deeper issue,
Yeah.
and he broached the subject earlier about the industrial complex that now is the prison system, and that profit motivation that now permeates through the judiciary system, and that these people are putting mass dollars behind these judge appointments and these things that are influencing things on a very subtle level that most of us don't realize. Now, what you're talking about, yes, we should as all of Americans have a responsibility to stand up for those things, those tenets, the spirit of the law, right? That says that we should not be mistreated that way. We know as a fact that that's not the case, though, and most of us with children and family do not have the resources to do that.
All the time.
Right?
But I want to speak on that too. Play on words, but a reason why it's very difficult
That's good.
to bring order to what they have going on in there and to actually prosecute them is because when you're in there, once you travel through those doors, you get marked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get stamped, and your word no longer is valid. And by just the virtue of them having that uniform and that badge, their word stands.
Yes.
So absent some real proof, I mean, actual real proof.
Like Rodney King, if it wasn't
If
for that tape.
the average person can't go and say anything about him. Matter of fact, when I left out of there, I was like, man, they strip search you. They make you get down butt naked. I mean, all of that. I was like, how could I get like a spy camera or something up in here? Because this is incredible. It even blew my mind, and I'm not naive.
I've got an idea.
They have it covered.
I got an idea. Stick a spy camera, not you,
Wow.
up your ass, because you can guarantee you'll get everything you need
I'm
to
gonna tell you,
see.
but here's the thing: it's
Because
fun.
they've been so many men over in that place to look in their body cavities. One of the things that occurred to me, and yes, this is LA, and you come on vacation and leave on probation. I did myself. The point being that you're gonna maybe go through the system out here. And I thought to myself, imagine the job of that guy, that prison guard.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What
if
funny
he's-
thing,
what
when
if-
I was
what if it's
in,
over?
when I
What
was
if
in
that's
there,
not the
it was
case?
about a
That is
4'9".
a whole lot of nastiness to look at.
It's about
as
a
job.
4'9" middle-aged Asian woman that they had stripping us down and checking us.
Oh, I would have.
So would we agree?
Did you get a number?
Would we agree?
Hey, Steve, did you get a number?
would we agree? Would we agree that the lawyers?
Masumi still works there?
Word.
Do we agree that
know
the
that, Steve. You
judges,
gotta holler.
the sheriffs, then the police now work for that industrial complex?
It's much more nuanced than that, though. Let's not oversimplify, because
Closer
if
to
you've
your
ever
microphone,
if you've
Mike.
ever
Can
been
you pull it-
sentenced,
pull it
if you've
out
ever
some
been
more?
sentenced to do any kind of incarceration, the judge will make sure it's clear to you that once you're handed over to the corrections department, that you are under their purview.
That's right.
And his statements are only suggestion to them, basically.
Okay,
Right.
right.
So to the extent that there's plausible deniability there, in a way,
Right.
but these things could be exported. I've always thought, like, for instance, because it's an industrial for-profit thing now, just like we regulate any other industry. Why should we have to have spy cameras? Why can't we, like any other industry, have very overt cameras?
No.
Now that it's a for-profit thing,
Right.
You're not worried about the municipality part of it now. Now it's run by a for-profit company, and they need a check, which is a very legitimate request by the people to ask them for a check like that. And that camera is very mundane technology now. It's not anything that's hard to do, and the fact that it's not there is very telling, in that the power that has been wielded by that complex.
And that's, I think that's
Right.
my point.
Right.
Like, if we realize that, since we've been here, doing business or whatever, in America, it's all about commerce, right? So if the industrial complex and the United States, it's a business, right? So then if it's a business and those people work for that complex, right? Then it starts to you have to think about, like, what are we doing, and it's going to take a mass amount of people to stop it. It's not going to, like, you have your voices, they kill us off, the ones, and then we're not strong enough to stay together. The next person rise up and, like, we prepared this next dude in case they killed this guy.
Right.
But if we know the police, lawyers, right? Because the only thing that they're doing is doing commerce in that system, though.
I got some for you.
Right,
Okay?
but let me say this, and trust me, I can go conspiracy theory with the best of them and all of that, but having that firsthand knowledge and that close interpersonal interaction with those people, a lot of those sheriffs, because I tried to get into their heads, because I tried to say, you don't know me.
Right.
I'm in here for a traffic ticket. You're treating me like trash. You're being hostile to me. You're being disrespectful to me as a man. What in your mind makes you be that way? But in the aftermath of these charges that were filed, a lot of former sheriffs and stuff like that are coming out. And one of them said one thing that it was really tripped to me, that he's like, in the training, they tell them, if you are not getting complaints, you ain't doing your job good enough. because they train them to be hostile like that. Because you know what, a thing that was very interesting to me in there was how many attractive women are in there.
Why do you think they do that, though?
Why do they think they train them to do that?
Yeah.
It is a breeding ground. It is, to me, in essence, a factory for manufacturing criminals, because criminals are their business.
Right. So commerce, right?
Yes.
So we're all back down to commerce, and if you have this complex of these people, there's fun. It's just like cattle.
Well, let me take the devil's advocate point, because some would say that this situation existed before it became a for-profit entity.
Of course.
So
yeah,
there's a deeper issue here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
There's a reason why we're selected to be the victims of that particular industry.
Right. And then once
but we're not just the victim of that. I mean, you look at the skinheads too; they're victims of it as well. I mean, whites, blacks, Latinos, anybody who goes into the prison system.
As a percentage of any society, ours even far outpaces Latinos.
I understand that, but my point is this: that it's not just us.
I mean,
because most white hold on, but most white people go in there aren't skinheads when they go in there.
And to make a change,
and they go in there when they become that.
Oh yeah.
They
that's
become that once they get there.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Then we agree on that they take people and they get them in there, and that's what I'm saying. It is a place they intentionally manufacture criminals out of people that get in there. When they get in there, everything they do almost forces you to go into that lifestyle.
Right. Can I say, I was talking to a gang member the other day. I work with one, and he was telling me about the system, about how, when you first get in, they have some, Latinos over here, whites over here, Mexican over here. And I'm like, how the hell do these prisons run the streets? He says, because the inmates or the prisoners know that if you're in this life, you're going to be here sooner or later.
At some point.
Right. At some point, you're going to be here sooner or later. So guess who's calling the shots?
Right. Because when you come see me,
you
better have done what you've been told.
You better have done what you've been told,
That's right.
or it's your ass.
That's right.
And it's amazing that
Literally.
I look at this in California, and it's amazing that we're talking about this, because I was just talking about this the other day, how this prison system makes prisoners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, career prisoners.
Yes.
Most people who come in the prison system here in California, there's no rehabilitation whatsoever.
The spirit of rehabilitation has been lost for years.
Well, I don't know about that. And I can't say that about New Jersey. I know about that about California. But I know in New Jersey they still have a college program.
Yeah.
They still have those programs that allow you to because they don't have this black, Mexican, white thing. They don't have that. Well, they may have it, but it's not like as intense as it is.
Yeah.
Out here.
Not to mention the gang thing, and that's another thing that I learned. I mean, I was just appalled at from the sheriff's side the amount of atrocities that they commit. I mean, it is institutionalized. In this indictment that happened on Monday, they arrested 18 individual deputies. But I'm like, I can tell you from being in there, it is institutionalized. It's all of them, because they all have to play by those rules, and that's the way they run it.
What's his name was indicted too, wasn't he?
Baca?
No, Baca.
Yeah, I think so.
Baca, and who was the guy before him?
Gates.
Gates.
Gates was LAPD.
Yeah,
but
but that's systemic. That's they got my brother over there. Oh, they got signs too.
The feeder system.
They got gang signs too.
but jail is corporate headquarters for gang members.
What?
It's like corporate headquarters for gang members.
Oh, no question.
That's where they come. They get, like you said,
they get their marching orders. They get their training. Yes.
I mean, and it is amazing to me.
And they send them out into society just so the police can get them later on.
It's a think tank, if you think about it.
Yeah,
it's a think tank. It is. Just like you have the think tanks for the United States government, where that's all they do is sit for hours on end thinking about strategic ways to do things.
Right.
That's all it is.
Right.
So once we realize that, then and get into the psychology of it and how it affects us, because we can talk and we would talk about it, but understand like why, and then why collectively, then we can do something about it collectively.
I hear you always say collectively, but there is no collectively until we collectively get together.
Let me give you a
quote. If you are,
that's the only way it's going to happen.
Gentlemen, can we at least agree on the fact that, as it's said in Los Angeles,
speak on it then,
the LAPD is the largest gang in Los
Oh,
Angeles.
no question. Everybody knows.
Don't it?
no.
Hold on.
LAPD and the sheriff.
I was going to say, because the
You
sheriffs
gotta
are
add them too.
county-wide.
You gotta get
They
them
are
too.
county-wide.
So
They're
let's agree on that.
statewide.
And let's agree
The
on the
sheriff's
fact that we
statewide.
need to take a quick,
LA County
brief
Sheriff.
break
Yeah.
and take a breath. You know, there's a lot of convicts up in this motherfucker tonight.
You know what I'm saying?
Whole
You know what I'm saying?
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm an inmate. I'm an inmate, not a convict.
All right. Well, just hold on. We're gonna make you one.
True that sounds of Billy Paul
Birds of a feather.
from his incredible album 360 Degrees. I'm Just a Prisoner. Billy Paul. We'll be right back right after this.
Just a prisoner, 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 just a prisoner. I thought a man was innocent until he's proven guilty. Ain't been no jury to judge me. How long must I pay for the wrong I've done? I'm a victim of circumstance, you see. Has everybody forgotten about me? Will I ever see my family? I'm just a prisoner, oh Lord, just a prisoner, just a prisoner. I'm telling the truth.
Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. You're tuned in to LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk.
I know they miss you. But baby, she's fine and old, and she don't even know who her daddy is.
Young Connection, your one-stop connection for all your graphic design and commercial printing needs. Young Connection is a full-service printing and media design company dedicated to providing the highest level of customer service and satisfaction. Young Connection provides swift response and rapid turnaround services for banners, brochures, business cards, letterheads, church bulletins, funeral programs, flyers, logo design, posters, and much, much more, all at an affordable price. Young Connection, the official printing company of LA Talk Live. Give them a call at 310-491-3336. That's 310-491-3336, or visit their website at www.youngconnection.com. That's www.youngconnection.com. Young Connection Printing and Media Services, proud sponsors of LA Talk Live, where it's more than just talk. The 21st Annual World Congress on Anti-Aging is coming to the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Josh Lane and Dr. Hans Kugler of Here's to Your Health, in conjunction with the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, invite you to attend the 21st Annual World Congress on Anti-Aging, December 13 through 15 at the beautiful Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. More than 3,500 healthcare practitioners are expected to convene for this medical education conference, where they will teach, lecture, and demonstrate. This year's conference highlights include anti-aging science, personalized aesthetic medicine and lifestyle workshops, brain health and stem cell science, and so much, much more. Register to attend or exhibit by visiting www.a4m.com. That's www.a4m.com. Or call the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine at toll-free 888-997-0112. That's toll-free 888-997-0112. 0112. Don't miss the 21st Annual World Congress on Anti-Aging, presented by the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine, proud sponsors of Here's to Your Health with Josh Lane and LA Talk Live, where it's more than just talk.
If you are among the very young at heart.
Covers and sleeves, iPhone covers, and unique home decor. Brooksy laptop sleeves are made to order and can be custom made to fit your computer. Just send a message with your order telling us the model and the dimensions of your laptop, and we'll make you your very own sleeve in whichever design you choose. Any of the pillow designs can be turned into laptop sleeves too. Remember, Brooksy for all your computer embellishment needs. You can find Brooksy at www.brooksy.com. That's BROKESY.com. And remember to tell them that you heard it here on LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Hey everybody, it's your man Sabir Bey back on your airwaves, inviting you to join us every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Sabir Bey Show, discussing history, law, and hip-hop. Every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the Sabir Bey Show, exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You also can catch us on iTunes Radio and R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch us and listen directly at LATalkLive.com. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, I'm Jerry Bell of the Daz Band in New Birth. And I'm Brahima Arsalan, inviting you to join us every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time for Jerry Bell's R&B Soul Classics, baby. Join us as we play some of the greatest hits of soul and R&B and listen in to interesting discussions with the legends of the music. So don't you forget, join us on the Jerry Bell's R&B Soul Classics. You'll love it. Exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch us and listen directly at LATalkLive.com, baby. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk, baby. We're music.
Hello world, how you living? This is D Brex, your host of the all-new rap project here on LA Talk Live. That's LATalkLive.com. Or you can find me on iTunes Radio in the R&B section. That's the Rap Project, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's Wednesdays at 7 p.m. West Coast time, so don't be late. On the Rap Project, I will be playing the very best of rap and hip-hop that goes beyond the ordinary. So connect with me, your host, D-Brax, the rap connoisseur, on the Rap Project every Wednesday at 7, right here on LATalkLive.com, where we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Dr. Lewis Logan, inviting you to join me every Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon for Faith on the Front Line. We don't just talk about it, we are about it. That's our motto. Don't just talk about it, be about it. We highlight the issues and challenges that we face today and how faith communities and leaders make a difference. So don't forget to tune in to Faith on the Front Line, exclusively here on LA Talk Live. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio and R&B, and watch us on Ustream TV. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hey y'all, I'm Shakim Williams, and I'm the host of The Shock Factor here on LA Talk Live. We broadcast to the world every Friday at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Live music, live performances. We're just live. Chef Momo, Life MC, Diana, and once again, your host, Shakim Williams. So come join us every Friday here at LA Talk Live, the world-leading broadcasting internet radio station. The Shock Factor. The Shock Factor.
Join us on the Shock Factor.
Watch a while. You see, he never smiled. Broken home, father gone,
Mama time.
Very underrated.
So
voice.
he's all alone.
Man, this dude here.
You mean me, right?
No, yeah, you too.
Kurt, kind of sad. I mean, what a poet.
Man, dude.
What a lyricist. Ghetto child.
Look,
Man.
I had watched Superfly.
Thinking
I
he's
bet
been
you 10
had.
times before I
but I can
realized.
just hear him in the back
Look,
of his mind saying,
Let's go down a rabbit hole with him. Let's go down a rabbit hole with him. You didn't have to love for me when I was just a nothing child. Why couldn't they just let me be? Let me be.
let me be.
Man, people don't get it being black as a little black boy running through the neighborhoods of America, man. Many of
You
us
can't
feel this way, man. You just don't get it.
Getting
Our women
caught
don't get
up.
it. Our own women can't get it.
I sometimes
that?
don't get it. Why is your pants so low, young fella? Well,
just-
that's their statement.
It's just the latest.
Why is your head
That's
so
right.
nappy, young fella? Well, that's their statement.
Yeah.
It was what my parents felt about
Let's not
me
judge. That's right.
coming from
right.
their era, and I was in the 60s
Yeah.
hearing this kind of music.
That's right.
You feel me? This is Speak On It, heard exclusively here each and every Friday evening at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, evening on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, and whatever in between. We're here each and every week. Tonight, we're joined by Mike Bond, my good friend and patron of LA Talk Live, and also my co-host, Mr. Stephen Bird, the official sponsors of our show tonight, birdlaw.com. Check it out.
And we're
Kinda
thankful for
sad,
that.
man. Indeed, we are. So, we've been talking about a lot of things, but most importantly, it's all about growing up in this country. And no matter what your background, no matter what your experience, no matter what your level of degree, from the halls of institution throughout this country, we all
Can I speak to
Man,
that for just
have
a
been
moment?
touched by
it's such a personal
the
thing for
system
me.
in some way,
Can I
huh?
speak to that for just a moment?
By
What
all
you just
means,
said.
Mike
Okay.
Bond, yeah.
It is a personal affront to me as a man, and it's an insult on the deepest level that after doing what I had to do to work hard to put my sons in a situation where they didn't deal with poverty and disenfranchisement as I thought I did. After doing that and having them raised as very wonderful human beings and intellectuals, to still, at the end of the day, have to tell them, son, the easiest thing to happen to you on these streets right now is to get locked up.
Yep.
Do you know how?
You're going to have to break that down, because I know you said that at the break as I was stepping back into the room, and you and Counselor Burt were talking about that. Please break that down for our listeners and the uninitiated out there.
I'll speak to it on the terms of something that people is in the front of the news now.
And lean into that mic a little bit more.
Barack Obama, our first, I'll say this correctly, overtly black president, okay? Openly black president. Okay?
Hold on now.
Okay.
There was no closet black president.
Oh, there have been several actually, but
you're right.
Let's move on. But let's say, okay, so I grew up in an era, and my parents did, and my grandparents before them, and their forefathers before them grew up in an era where a black man dare not aspire to hold the highest office in this country. not even to teach their sons or daughters that it was possible. To the extent that when the votes were counted on the news and they were telling the story in the post-Bush stealing election culture,
Right.
I still didn't believe it. And was brought to tears uncontrollably when it happened, not even knowing why at the time why I was feeling that way. And I realized that I would be able to tell my sons, it can happen, right? So I put it that way. I put it on those terms for the positive. On the negative side, doing what it takes as a young black man growing up in this culture, in this world, to counteract all of the things all of the attributes that are placed on you from birth, right? And it's a 24-hour day job to do that. It's not fashionable to be intellectual in our community. It's not fashionable to go to school every day and do what you need to do and be a respectable gentleman and be a man of your word, right? So to come up in the midst of that and then raise sons to overcome that and still, after that, have to tell them the easiest thing that can happen to you by sounding in these streets, the easiest thing that you can do is get locked up.
And speaking of how you tied that into Barack Obama, if you guys will recall, after his historic election, one of the first big issues to happen under his administration was when Henry Louis Gates,
how about that,
Harvard professor, gets arrested in his own crib.
I was insulted
in his
myself.
own crib, and that just puts an exclamation point on what you were saying. As a black man, and to what you asked me, Rich, about being a lawyer, being locked up, because one thing that I did not do when I was in there, I didn't tell nobody I was an attorney.
I know you did.
I didn't want the sheriffs to know that.
He never got out. He'd have been trapped in the law library for the next 10 years.
Neither did I want a bunch of criminals asking me a bunch of questions, because I have never and never will practice criminal law.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, and trying to explain that to people is just not worth it. So I just rather just be anonymous. But what I was appalled at was not so much being an attorney, but just any well, I'm not that affluent financially, but any, you know, intellectually educated, middle class, working class, law-abiding person to get caught up in have my liberty taken away for something so trivial. That's what.
Why are
got
you
me.
still getting taxed? By the way,
Well,
why are you still getting taxed?
hold on, gentlemen.
Simultaneously,
let's keep it real. None of us on the mic right now, sitting at the dais, are from Los Angeles. Natives. We're not.
No,
right?
I am.
You're a Los Angeles?
I am.
I thought you were from Chi-Town.
No.
Okay,
no.
my bad.
I've never even spent any significant time there. What happened is I graduated from high school, went to Boston, went to undergrad, came back, then went to D.C. and went to grad school, then worked in New York, and then came back.
I stand correct.
Yeah.
Two of us on the dais today are not from here, and one of us can attest to the fact that, Mike, if you've never fallen into county jail, and God forbid you ever make it to the state, out here in Los Angeles, you may wind up sitting beside, in the holding tank, Richard Pryor, Rick James, James Brown. That's the one thing about getting locked up out here. And I say that to tie in, to dovetail on the comment you made about it's irrespective of social strata, more or less.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy got taken down to Men's Central.
Yeah.
You feel me? Or
But-
at least to
let me stop you
West,
there. But these are not
Hollywood.
These are not
So-
these are not intellectuals and
let me-
are not.
Well, okay.
These are social.
I was just trying to speak to the fact that if you get locked up in Los Angeles, it ain't all bad. There may be the one time you get to meet your.
I'll tell you what.
I'm only kidding. And I'm just trying to make light of the topic.
Well, let me say this.
A little levity to the
I
discussion.
spent my first summer ever in Los Angeles, sleeping nights on Venice Beach.
Okay.
Now I don't know if anybody knows what that entails, but if you spend any extended time overnight on Venice Beach, the chances of you getting arrested go up exponentially.
Yeah.
Let me just say that to you. So, yes, I have gone through the L.A. County system, and I've met people who have, at 4 a.m, thrown bricks through windows so they can go back to the system. Now, that's something I had never seen before.
I was making light of,
I know
of
you
the
were. I know
fact
you were. I know.
that you get locked up out here, you may wind up with sitting next to a star in the bullpen.
What's on the other side of you, though?
Well, who cares? You met Rick James.
Yeah,
Rick
James on one side and
I'm Rick James
and a serial killer on the other side. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true too.
And I want to move on because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. But I do want to say, let me tell you who I was locked up with. 2 18-year-olds transferred up to county from YA because they had passed 90 days. Youth Authority.
Thank you very much. Please.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Uninitiated.
Yeah, because they had passed 90 days past their 18th birthday. Both of them facing murder charges. Neither one of them denying that they did it.
Right.
And in a room full of cats who are talking about murdering fools like they're talking about
having
eating
breakfast.
cornflakes.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Like nothing. And these are kids that you sitting across from that I'm like, if this kid was to pass me on the street and try to get some dust kicked up, I'll be like, I'll beat the dog snot out this little boy. But this is a little kid on the street doing murders because they're normalized to that because you get caught up in the system so early. So this, being that we brought this topic up last week, I thought it was like a small victory and kind of like
a huge victory,
a confirmation of what we were talking about, that the U.S. attorney went ahead and charged the sheriffs. But also what happened this week or last week is LAPD changed its policy on giving tickets to kids in high school because that's where they get them started. My nephew, I didn't raise him, but the last couple years of his high school tenure, he lived with me, and it was my responsibility to make sure he got to school, got his grades and all that. And he got a ticket for crossing the train tracks by his school. And the thing is, you get a parent like me or a guardian like me, I'm going to make sure I'm following up on him. Did you get that court date? Because I know what can happen. But in certain circumstances, and plus many of these kids, so many of our kids are foster kids. That's a whole other topic we can have. But their parents are not involved like that. And that ticket turns into a warrant. It turns into thousands of dollars that neither they nor their parents can pay. And ultimately, they're going to wind up in the system because the law enforcement is just looking for a reason to lock them up, and they get in there and in order to survive in that environment, you can't be the outcast. Yeah. You got to get down with what's going down. And you get normalized to that type of talk, that type of behavior, and that type of activity, and it just snowballs.
And we are the great adapters. So it's a double-edged sword.
Yes.
So because we are the great adapters and some great survivors, that's what we do.
Right.
And get in a situation where there's no alternative, that's what you do.
Yeah. And when in Rome, do as the Romans. Okay. We didn't make that up.
Funny you bring it up because as I don't like to quote Shakespeare, but Rome is real. It's a place. It's a dream, right? And I think of that when I think of our Constitution in America. It's a great document. One of the most beautiful things I've ever read. But it has been bastardized in a way that every one of us as citizens should be not upset. We should be horrified by at this point.
It was disingenuous from his very writing when the people who said all men are created equal were all slave owners.
But the document's beautiful.
Yeah, the document itself theoretically is on point. Yeah. Now, if I can switch reels a little bit, because Rich, you were playing that beautiful music going out, then you came back in with the Curtis Mayfield, who was an awesome musician, but you also talked about how he's a poet. And I want to talk about somebody who recently dropped an album, who is an awesome musician, but is not a poet. That is R. Kelly. Yes. I listened to R. Kelly on the way over here, his new Black Panties album. And if I can say, he said pussy on that mug at least 1 million times. I listened to it all the way through because I've been hearing so much about how dope it was. And R. Kelly's around my age. I know he's got to be in his 40s. Yeah. And I'm just thinking like...
He's a felony waiting to happen too, by the way.
Yeah, the 13-year-old girl that he peed on tape aside, just judging him on this album, which does have some tunes on there that could be bangers, but the subject matter and the mentality that shit promotes, I just think that we have to stop. We have to stop because we're 40-something. I'm 40-something, I should say. But you get an 18-year-old or somebody listening to that, and it's R. Kelly, and it's, he's commercially successful and all of that. That equals validity in this society.
That's right.
Commercial success equals validity in this society. So you get somebody, you talk about the power of music, you know what I'm saying? Then you talk about the power of celebrity, and then you get a person that's blessed with this musical genius and this celebrity and this money, and then what you use it to do is to promote the fucking ridiculous bullshit.
Yeah.
As far as content that is on his,
and that speaks exactly what I was talking about, Rich, about being locked up with these celebrities does not make them intellectual enough to know the error of their ways, first of all.
Right.
So I can be happy to be locked up next to him as opposed to this murderer, but really, it's systemically helping the problem as opposed to abating it.
Right. Yeah, I have a particular problem with him, perhaps because I have a daughter that in 3 weeks will be 13.
And you should.
I was formerly I'm still an entertainment attorney. I'm just not practicing it hardcore like I was before. But I had found myself at a party with R. Kelly, and it was a birthday party. It was for somebody. It was Cuba Gooding or something like that. And I'm at the table, and I'm actually sitting across from R. Kelly, and I'm faded. It's just one of those nights. I got swept up. I don't know neither one of these cats, but I just got swept up in the moment and ended up at this restaurant with these cats. And so I'm super duper on lit, and I'm sitting across from this dude, and I'm telling you, I could not look him in his face. Like I was seeing in my mind, I was just seeing like, this dude is so evil. I can't do it. I can't sit here in 10 minutes. I'm drunk. I'm going to say something. Right. The people who brought me in here, they're going to be mad at me because I'm going to mess up their hookup. Yep. And I ended up just going outside. This was at the Sky Bar on Sunset, and I went out by the pool and just lounged on one of the lounge chairs out by the pool because I was like, I can't sit across from this dude and hold my tongue. I can't do it. You know, but that's me. I see so many of our people, like the second that album dropped, they were all over it. And I said, well, let me listen to it. Because I was a fan of R. Kelly. The 12 play, man, I was in college. He had me there. I was in college, and let me tell you, I owe him a debt of gratitude for that album, that first one.
Oh, no question.
But, dude, as a grown, responsible adult, you know what I'm saying? I can't support it. I can't do it. And I want to lead the charge for people. As a culture, we got to see how this is influencing our kids and how our kids, you know, how they say, George Benson said, are the future. What are we creating for our future? It's ridiculous, man. We're going down.
And not to look, and R. Kelly is immensely talented enough to do something different.
Yeah.
Very easily.
Yes.
So it's compelling that he makes that choice.
What do you mean by that? Do something different, though? I don't get that.
As far as his content, he's versed enough to me as a songwriter to be able to at least cloak it.
Did I miss something about the new song about Jump Around?
No, I listened to the whole album. There's one on there called I Want to Marry the Pussy, where in that song alone he says pussy 250,000 times. I mean, and it's
you're exaggerating, of course, because you can't fit that into a song. 250,000.
But dude, I'm telling you, seriously though,
whole song is just layered with.
Seriously though, I mean, it's ridiculous. I invite you to listen to it. And for somebody my age that's a mature adult that knows better from right and wrong and can put that in its proper context, you can listen to it and laugh. But I just wondered, like, you know, like I said, the power of music in and of itself, this way that it has, and the power of his celebrity, what he's using it to promote. It is the worst element. It's always the negative element that we promote with every form that we have. You know, I mean, don't get me started. BET, what they choose to promote, what they choose to use, the one, even though it's owned by Viacom, the one supposedly black
not anymore
network. Yeah, well, you got TV One and some others, but I'm just saying your name is Black Entertainment,
right?
And what you choose to promote is that worst negative element. And the thing is, not even only for us, but it's looked to by other races as a representative of what we stand for, and it is always that worst element.
Just as readily, those races play into the cultural nuances, because that's all they are.
Yeah.
It is not our culture. We know what black culture is as black people. You know, there's enough of us around, even amongst the 20-year-olds who have grandmothers who reconnect them to the culture, maybe not as clearly. Maybe they got dial-up, and some have high speed, and some have DSL.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, we know our culture. We know what our culture is as people.
I'm not sure if you're right about
that.
Wait.
At least let me finish my point.
Go ahead.
Let me finish my point. And there is enough of our culture and its strength still around in our community. I think the biggest challenge we have in our age group is understanding that our culture is no longer ours of our age group, and that many of the things that we got away with in our teens that changed the music and the culture that our parents and foreparents looked at as aberrant is what we see now as aberrant. This is what I challenge constantly.
Okay, I can answer.
I take up that challenge.
I can speak that specifically.
So before you do, let me. Then maybe I need to clarify a little bit more. What we're seeing in our young people now, that may be what we might consider aberrant behavior, and we got to take a break too. So I'm gonna lay this out and then take the break, and then I'll leave it to y'all to correct me on my understanding about this. Is that some of what we don't quite understand now, our parents and foreparents didn't understand then. And so because of that, we look at it now as so different, so unusual, so bad.
It is, though.
I'm not going to say unusual. I'm going to say it's too usual.
Yet
it's too usual.
Yet we ourselves were part of what brought about the change in this culture that we call our own.
True that.
I'm pointing at you.
I was an NWA fan.
I'm
waiting.
pointing at
True.
you,
True.
Mr.
I'm
Bond.
waiting.
True.
All
I'm
right.
waiting to
So,
address that.
Yeah.
In the background, a little Snoop Dogg.
I heard the
Murder
helicopter.
Yeah, I heard the
Yes.
helicopter. I was
That's
thinking
what-
Ice Cube, but
As we
okay.
go to the break, you're listening to Speak On It with attorney Stephen Mike Bond. We'll be right
Murder
back.
was the case.
Right
All
after
right.
this quick
Still a
commercial
fan.
break. Do not go away. Yeah.
As I look up at the sky, my mind starts tripping, a tear drops my eye. My body temperature falls. I'm shaking and they breaking, trying to save the dough. Pumping on my chest and I'm screaming. I stop breathing, damn, I see demons. Dear God, I wonder, can you save me? I can't die, my boo-boo's about to have my baby. I think it's too late for praying. Hold up, her voice spoke to me and it slowly started saying,
bring your lifestyle to me, I make it better.
and how long will I live?
Eternal life and forever.
Or will I be the G that I was?
I make your life better than you can imagine or even dreamed of. So relax your soul, let me take control. Close your eyes, my soul.
My eyes are closed. Murder was the case that they gave me. 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 I'm fresh up out my coma. I got my mama and my daddy and my homies in my corner. It's gonna take a miracle, ain't safe for me to walk again and talk again. But anyway, I get running some keys to get back on my feet. And everything that nigga said came to reality. Living like a baller low, I'm having money and blowing hella chronic smoke. I bought my mama a Benz, my boo-boo a Jag, and now I'm rolling in the 9 AL Dog Ray.
Just remember who changed your mind, cause when you start set tripping, that ass is mine.
Indeed, agree, proceed to smoke weed. Never have a want, never have a need. They say I'm greedy, but I still want more. Cause my eyes want to journey some more. Really though.
Check it out.
Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. You're tuned in to LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk.
Hi, this is Dr. Levi, your fitness doctor, making a personal house call, inviting you to join me Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific for my all-new show, The Dr. Levi Show. Join us as we discuss fitness, health, and well-being, including emotional and spiritual health. So don't forget to tune in to The Dr. Levi Show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com and the Talk Live Broadcast Network. You can also catch us on iTunes, Radio R&B, or watch us on Ustream.tv, or catch us on the Live 365 network, and now on Radio Flag and Stitcher Radio. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hey y'all, I'm Shakim Williams and I'm the host of The Shock Factor here on LA Talk Live. We broadcast to the world every Friday at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Live music, live performances, we're just live. Chef Momo, Life MC, Diana, and once again your host Shakim Williams. So come join us every Friday here at LA Talk Live, the world-leading broadcasting internet radio station. The Shock Factor. The Shock Factor.
Join us on the Shock Factor.
Hi, this is Barbara Perkins, inviting you to join us every Sunday afternoon at 2:40 for Sisters at the Well Radio, a conversation with women about women. Join us as we share stories about current events, jazz events, business opportunities, health and wellness, entertainment, and so much more. So don't forget to tune in Sundays at 2:40, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Is that the Black Santa? I want a Super Nintendo. Yeah. Sega Genesis. Yeah. Street Fighter 2. And Gang
It's 12:30 a.m. Christmas Eve. I'm out with the gangsters and thieves. Celebrated, posted up with eggnog, head up in my cup. Put Rudolph and Moses, Lil bang, banging and coasting down the block. But be careful for the heart because it's posted. Some say to this day that Christmas ain't nothing but another day. But out of respect, I gotta give the Lord his day. Tell me, where do the homeless and bums got to sleep? Nowhere. Where do the hungry and the needy greedies got to eat? Life is so crucial and cold. That's for the children in this world. They hopes and dreams can't afford. The young and old churches and spiritual dreams, seasonal things. Heard throughout the ghetto reaches gangsters and dope fiends. Cause those who ain't able to get it now can finally get it. Cause the ghetto Santa Claus to sprinkle the hood. Now we born and living to a new year, a better thing. Celebrate with some champagne. Ha ha, check it. Santa Claus is coming straight to the ghetto.
Straight to the ghetto, man. That's so gangsta, ain't it, man?
You know, it's funny. That brings up, Megan Kelly on Fox News yesterday.
Play this song.
No. Not even. She said yesterday she wants all the kids to know that Santa Claus and Jesus are white.
Ooh, yeah. That's, I saw that on MSNBC as a comment, man, and I said to myself, wow. It is what it is. If that's what you want to think, that's what it is.
And I don't mind that.
If you white, your Santa Claus is white.
I don't mind that.
But if you black, Santa's coming straight to the ghetto,
my
baby.
point for bringing that kind of stuff up is not like with the whole Paula Deen and all of that.
Right.
I don't care. I don't want to punish Paula Deen. I don't care. All of them. The reason why I bring these things up is I want black people to realize every other group or community is riding for their own. We're the only ones out here on that kumbaya, and meanwhile, while we're doing that, instead of knowing that we have to create a cohesive unit, we're getting left further and further behind. It's like, it's like sports, even like these athletes, they claim, oh, I don't have to be down with that and all this kind of shit. I don't have to stand up.
Oh yeah.
On a team, and that'll bring us to the Kobe and the James Jim Brown thing. But on a team, if your team is behind and you're on the sideline talking about fuck the rest of this team, I'm going for my individual stats. That doesn't ride in the locker room. When you come back to the locker room, it's an ass whooping waiting for your ass. If you out there, the team is behind and the team is trying to get back on point, but you out there going for Delph because that's all you're concerned about. You know that's an ass whooping in the locker room. Well, my analogy is, as the black people, we need some collective locker room mentality. It's a lot of fools out there going for Delph at the rest of our expense.
Delph?
Self, you know, that's my
Oh,
Wu-Tang.
okay.
That's my
All right,
Wu-Tang
Delph.
kicking in
Okay,
from
I
my
got it,
East Coast.
I got you now. I got it.
from my little foray to the East Coast.
Delph.
Yeah, I don't know what that even means, but that's my Wu-Tang slangage. But no, but seriously, if you're out there going for self, you know what I mean, and you're not playing by part of the team, you get dealt with for that. You get dealt with for that. In team sports, we recognize it. How come we don't recognize it as a group of people, especially in light of the tremendous fourth quarter deficit that we're facing in this game of life? Why not? And people call me wrong. I'm like, really? Really?
Call
What
you
team
raw?
are you on?
Is that what they said? Call you raw? Is that what you
Wrong.
said?
Wrong.
For saying that.
Whenever I speak up, you know, as black people, there's a lot of kumbaya. I think it's because we've been so oppressed, and so we're so into fairness that we don't want to be unfair to anybody else because we know what it's like to be the victims of prejudice. So we don't want to exhibit any on our own. But it's like, it's not prejudice if you're not anti somebody else and you're just pro yourself.
Let's get this on track, Counselor, because you and I talked before the show about the controversy that's brewing between Kobe Bryant and the world famous, I'm trying to think of accolades, because if you are a long time
The greatest football player ever to play.
If you're a long time tuner to the station, I am featured on Facebook shaking his massive mitt, Mr.
And that's
Jim
exactly
Brown.
what it is.
Now, when I met him, Counselor, I extended my hand to him surreptitiously, because when he extended his to me, I grabbed it by the wrist and turned it over and looked into the palm of his hand. Because to me, everything that a man does, you know, everything you touch, everything you physically do, and then especially when you look at athletes, the hand is so important. I mean, if you lost everything on a human being except their hand, not only can you identify them if the skin is still there, but even to the bone, there is legacy in the work that they have done and performed. So when I met Jim Brown, I extended my hand surreptitiously and grabbed him by the back of his palm and turned his hand over and looked at it like, oh my God, that is the palm of a man who has touched the world. The world, okay? Now, that said, there is this brewing controversy between Kobe Bryant, whose hand I never shook, and maybe someday someone like me will look at his hand in the same way. See, to me, a man's hands are his doings. His sayings are one thing. His mouth, his teeth, his tongue, that's one thing. But his hands are his doings. So maybe one day someone will look at Kobe at that echelon of achievement. But there's this brewing controversy between Kobe and Jim Brown. And you and I talked about this before the show. I know how you feel about it, but where do you weigh in on it? You've made some comments.
Well, how I feel about it, I'm ambivalent about it, because I think that I understand where Jim Brown is coming from. But
They're both great men.
But I also believe Jim Brown is outdated.
Okay.
I love Jim
Speak
Brown
on
because, as we just said, Jim Brown knows what team he's on. And Jim Brown rolls for brothers. But Jim Brown's wisdom, I'm going to tell you, if you ask me, his wisdom can be questioned. Now, an interesting thing I learned in watching the Richard Pryor documentary was that when Richard Pryor got his studio deal, I think it was from Paramount, but whoever it was from, I believe it was Paramount. But anyway, Richard Pryor had a studio deal to do pictures. And, you know, they did the...
I think Jim Brown.
He put Jim Brown in charge.
Executive producer over the entire.
Yeah, he put Jim Brown in charge. Jim Brown passed on Purple Rain. He passed on Purple Rain because Prince being Prince and where he comes from, it
Counselor,
wasn't an all black
thing. Would you not
thing.
have passed on Purple Rain when?
No,
Purple
I would
Rain
not have
came out?
passed on Purple Rain because I'm not from Jim
Counselor,
Brown's
you're
era. I was
saying to
already a
me
Prince fan.
I was too. But when Purple Rain came out, that didn't make me a believer that Prince could make a movie of such impact. I'm not as old as Jim either, and I'm not as young as you. I'm right in the middle of both of y'all, and I would have never believed, being the big Prince fan that I was, that Prince could produce such a incredible, seminal movie.
Well, here's
my time.
Here's my
Prince?
thing. Here's
Really?
my thing. At the time, I was aware of Prince's broad mainstream appeal. He started in the black community, but because of his music and his style and everything, he had crossover appeal. He had a widespread following, international, and I was a huge fan. So I'm like, if Prince is doing a movie and he brings that
I'm down with
celebrity to the movie,
Let's write him a check
I was there the day it
and greenlight
opened,
him.
and I thought that so would a gang of other people, and I would. That's me talking about on GP, just the fact that Prince would have been making a movie, but those guys had the opportunity to have seen the script, so they saw what it was about, and saw that it was more than just some a shallow vehicle where Prince just got to be on camera. That it actually was a movie that had some insight, semi autobiographical about his life and all that, and that it had some depth to it, and that. Then and I also was a fan of everything that had to do with Prince, including the time. I'm still a huge fan of the time. Met Morris Day several occasions. What time is it? So I'm saying, you get characters like Morris Day and the time in it too to add that comic relief. You get that sex appeal from the Apollonians and all of that. No way I'd have passed on that.
Okay,
no
so,
way.
ladies
In
and
answer to your
gentlemen,
question,
if you're just tuning in the final moments of the show, because we've got to wrap out, get ready for the shock factor. 8 p.m. Pacific time here on LA Talk Live. We're talking about the rift between some comments that were made by Jim Brown and a Twitter response made by Kobe Bryant in response to Jim Brown's comments. Now, I have to
just say what the comments are, though, for people who didn't hear it.
Well, I'm not at liberty.
Okay, well, allow me to do that.
Please
Allow me to
by all
do that.
means.
On the Arsenio Hall show, today is Friday, so this was Tuesday or Wednesday. Jim Brown was asked by Arsenio how he felt about some of the athletes of today in light of his experiences. And Jim Brown's like, well, who in Arsenio Hall, being an LA guy, our biggest sports hero here in LA is Kobe Bryant. So he threw that name out first. And Jim Brown said, Kobe Bryant threw Shaq under the bus. I agree 100% that he did that.
I disagree, but it is what it is. Well, we can disagree on that.
Okay, okay, but the
Shaq was under the bus. He's a nut.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. Kobe committed in when he was arrested for the sexual assault, rape charges that were later dropped against him with the girl
Alleged
in Colorado.
Counselor, I would like to say.
No, but he was arrested on those charges.
That those comments be stricken from the mind of the jury. Anyway, go ahead.
No. He was. Everything I said is a fact. He was arrested on charges.
I'm joking.
Okay. And I mentioned that were later dropped because they found out this girl was absolutely no credible victim. She had all types of things that made So anyway, we don't need to go into details.
I just say thank you.
So anyway, when he was being interrogated, Kobe was bewildered that this was happening to him, kind of the way I felt when I got taken down for 5 days on a traffic ticket. And in his panic mode, he threw Shaq's name out. That is a major fail. No. Hold on a second. Let me finish. I'll let you always finish. I always let you finish.
He's a hoe for that. I'm gonna put it out there.
By
no man does that to another man.
Yeah, but well. See, I think those are cultural norms. Hold on a second, Rich. Come on, man.
Snitching on you cats with your wives. I'm straight up.
No man does that.
Hold on. Wait. Let me finish the statement.
in our
You married,
cultural
she was wife and snitching.
norms,
Well, guess what?
as brothers, in our
Ain't gotta
cultural
worry about
norms
you
as
hanging out with me
brothers,
no more.
that is something that we all know that we wouldn't do.
Right.
That's something we all know that we
Right.
wouldn't do. So when Jim Brown brought it up, and he said, well, Kobe wasn't raised like we were raised. He wasn't even raised in this country. That's what he was alluding to. That had he been raised in the hood like most of the cats in the NBA or that play professional sports, he would have known that was out of bounds.
Oh, no, you can snitch, but just don't just tell on the motherfucker to their wife, nah. You
No,
don't do that.
No, look, we got somebody
Especially-
that ain't telling right away and shit. So
Wait. Especially Shaq.
You got that song "Stool Pigeon"?
What
You got
Shaq was
that-
doing didn't have nothing to do with Kobe.
Right.
It's like if we committed a crime together and I get busted and I tell on you because you was there with me, that's still wrong culturally, but that's different.
Right.
He got busted by himself, didn't have nothing to do with Shaq.
But nobody in Colorado with him, nowhere within 100 miles of him.
And he threw Shaq's name in there, and that was a faux
I wasn't the
pas.
only one. Come on, man.
That was a faux pas. I ain't gonna take that away. I'm not gonna support him on that.
Who's Kobe did that?
Yeah, Kobe did
Bitch
that.
ass, Philadelphia ass. Them Philadelphia niggas. I'm
can't claim Philly.
But he ain't really a Philadelphia dude. He's a
West Oak-
pampered
them
dude.
West Oak Lane there, especially them niggas from West Oak Lane. Them
He's a
niggas-
pampered dude that wasn't raised with those rules. I'm not making a pass for him, but I'm just saying you can't put him in the same context.
Them
And now,
Overbrook niggas too. Them Overbrook niggas too. I'm telling you, them too. Them Overbrook and them West Oak Lane niggas. They'll tell on you in a minute.
I bet you this: if somebody did it to Kobe, he'd be calling him a whole ass motherfucker.
Well, he's from. He went to Overbrook High, so them Overbrook High and them West Oak Lane niggas, they like that.
is that the school he graduated from?
No,
I think he
what
went
he's
to. He graduated
referencing
from
is my
Upper Marion.
previous
Upper Marion.
experience.
Marion. Yeah, Marion.
Lower Marion.
Lower Marion.
West Oak Lane, Upper Marion, same thing.
Low Marion. Lower Marion.
I
Yeah,
really
that's it. I
wish
knew that didn't
I had
sound right.
gotten a
That's where he
Upper
took Brandy
Marion
to the prom.
or a Lower Marion education. I wish the hell I had gone there. I probably would not have. Anyway, all that said, my point is, I'm not going to disagree with you about the fact that Kobe threw, all right, snitch, bitch, stitches, ditches, threw Shaq under the bus.
Don't even bring my
for
name up.
having done that, right? I got that part. But I'm warning you, brothers, that if I see you cheating on your wife, and for the benefit of you ladies out there,
You ain't
if
meet
these
my
are
wife
your
now.
men, I'm snitching on these.
You won't even know my wife.
That's why you'll never see it.
That's why you'll never see it.
Let me say this.
Anyway,
Let me say
that's
this.
it. Yeah, what?
Rich, how old
Oh,
are you?
you
How old are
didn't-
you?
you didn't
Let me
know
ask
that
you
about me?
How old are you, Rich?
No, well, you know,
That you's a
old
bitch ass
enough-
snitch
in a
ass.
range.
No, we
Give
didn't
me a
know
range.
that. We didn't know you was a bitch ass snitch ass nigga. No, we didn't know that.
Old enough to snitch.
Give me
on
a
you.
range.
Cheating ass.
So when did it stop in the black
he's
community?
sweating
If
everything.
Jim Brown tell you ain't no man, you ain't no man. I'm gonna just be real with you now.
Yeah, yeah.
If
Now Jim
Brown
Brown
said-
stood up.
Hold on.
He got credentials.
Let me
man.
answer that question.
He got credentials. Kobe ain't got no credentials.
I don't
Man.
know.
God forbid
let
doing
me
shit
correct.
for
God forbid a grown man. Now,
Hold
don't mean no,
hold
you know,
on.
really.
Let
Let's
me
be-
correct
come on now.
myself. I don't have an answer to that question per se, but
That
I
ain't
do,
even a black thing.
I do have.
Right.
I do have a response to it to the extent that
If I go tomorrow, and
this
tell my
was
boss, I'm
not
fired.
the first time that Jim Brown has been called out about his position, his particular, and in some instances, as the word is applied, peculiar predilection to his views. Now, I wax dictionary
you
for
being
you.
all
Yeah.
intellectual up in here. This is speak on it,
I like
man.
those words,
Ain't
though. I
no
like
Cornell
it.
West in
Teach on
here.
it.
I like the
This ain't
word.
teach on it. This is speak on it, not teach on it.
I like the use of language.
Smiley ass.
Then let me keep it real.
over here.
Let me keep it real.
Travis smiling.
Hold on. See, now I understand, Shakim, the power of the button. Let me keep it real. No, I'm only playing.
Y'all so know.
Let me keep it real. Jim Brown, my idol,
Okay, man.
was accused
Would you tell on him?
of throwing a woman out the window.
It used to be necessary, though. I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying?
That was necessary.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying,
Necessary and
you know,
at that
acceptable.
time,
In
it
the
was.
60s, it was necessary and
Jim
acceptable.
It's probably more necessary now, but
has
it's
been
not acceptable
accused
anymore.
No telling what she did.
spousal abuse,
Man.
right? Now, when the man rolled down on Jim Brown, I followed the story very closely. His woman backed down off the accusations and said, let him go.
Most women do.
Now, the fact of the matter is, And I
He ain't had to
cannot
buy no $10 million ring either,
altogether
by the way.
lie on one side or the other as to who's right or who's wrong. Because inasmuch as Kobe made what I consider to be an absolutely idiotic mistake of sleeping with the damn receptionist of all people.
It wasn't an accident.
Damn,
fuck
Kobe.
the shit out
It wasn't an
that bitch,
accident.
Kobe.
It was a mistake.
All right,
It was
all right.
purposefully
Jeez,
done.
we are lying.
The mistake wasn't with sleeping with her. The mistake was he didn't let her live out the dream.
No,
he had to tell her he was gonna call her back, come back to Colorado, hook up with her.
No.
He made the same.
No.
Stop. Let me finish. Goddamn it. He made the same fucking mistake that Mike Tyson did. When you get these women, they're fucking with you because they are in the fantasy world. If you're going to go ahead, as soon as you bust your nut and kill the fantasy, you are inviting this. Go ahead and ride out the fantasy.
Steve, hold on.
Go ahead and ride out the fantasy. That is where both of them lost.
If he had been fucking with Shaq in the first place, I bet the girl would have been vetted ahead of time. He would have had to worry about it anyway. That's where he messed up.
I beg to differ.
I she
think
was
like
amazing.
this.
Hold on.
Exactly. He's trying to reinvent the wheel.
Gentlemen.
It's a whole population of NBA women in the NBA who will do it and won't have no problem with that.
All right, gentlemen. I had to mute the mics. Michael, hold on. We're going to defer to you next. I need to hear you guys in turn. Our audience, for the sake of clarity, needs to hear you in turn. Please, Michael Bond.
What I was saying is that there's been a long-standing culture of this adultery, whether it's acceptable or not in the NBA. And Shaq being a part of that, as called out by Kobe, if he had been a part of that culture, which he ended up being, he was just trying to act like he was different. If he had been a part of that culture, the woman would have been vetted, and he would not have to worry about that happening. But he wanted to go to Colorado and get bring somebody new in the fold who wasn't properly vetted, and this is what happens.
Hold on.
On something that's already been done. This is what happened.
All right, now, hold on. Let me get the cameras reset. You guys are very energetic tonight. I'm going to swing now to my esteemed colleague, Chef Neal, who joins us on the mic. Go ahead, Seal.
Well, I think like this. I think the reason why Kobe got and Kobe
Put the
and Mike
contraband
Tyson,
down.
Kobe and Mike Tyson, both of them got.
Is there contraband, counsel? Someone
I don't see no drugs.
They got caught on camera.
Police passed the contraband. No, your mic's on.
Well,
Go ahead.
it's
Steve,
I think
go.
like this. You know, if that would have been me, instead of Kobe, I would have hit that ass right, and she would have told shit.
Ooh-wee.
That was a problem. He didn't hit that ass right.
I thought he did have anal sex with her.
No, it was not the anal sex. No, she put
He choked that bitch.
She put her finger in his ass. That's what happened. She put her finger in his ass.
A new low, ladies and gentlemen. Here on
Speak on it.
What? No, but I'm telling you like this: if you hit that ass right, you ain't got to worry about it. She's quiet as a church mouse.
No, but he had the point though. No, you hit the ass right and tell her, look, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. We're going to go shopping, do all this other shit. It wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah.
When you kick him out the room, bitch, get on. I mean, you're inviting us. I mean, come on now.
True that.
You're asking for it. I've done it. I know. I'm guilty. I've done it.
Can we swing now to my esteemed colleague, Shakim Williams of The Shock Factor, coming up tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on LA Talk Live.
It's
Shock
8 o'clock
Factor.
yet?
Shakim Williams.
It's almost 8 o'clock.
Go.
Wake up. Hey, you know, by the way, tonight we're going to have a great show. We're going to have Crisco.
Leave that off. Let's speak to the conversation at hand.
Okay,
You'll get
so-
I want to
hear more about Crystal.
You got to get a shameless plug.
Shameless plugs on. Speak on it.
You got to get a shameless plug.
No,
you get plugs on.
Shock Factor 8 o'clock.
Yeah, but no, we're going to get that at the end of the show.
So, my whole thing is that I didn't know Kobe told on Shaq. Right, one.
Kobe
and two,
ain't tell on Shaq.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Very
he
clearly
did.
on TV, he did. Yes, he did.
If you think that Shawnee didn't know what Shaq was doing.
But what happens here?
He co-signed it.
He made it public. He made it public. He made it public.
out earlier.
No.
co-signed it.
All of these
co-signed
girls know.
Rich,
He co-signed
any of us that are married to a black woman
Co-signed.
knows you can do whatever you want
He
to
has a
do. But do
co-signer.
not let her mama find out about it.
He
That's
has
what
a
he
co-signer.
did. He put
He
on
had a
TV
co-signer.
so Shawnee's mama had to say, Shawnee, is this nigga doing this to
Kobe
you? And Shawnee had to
co-signed
say, yes, mom.
He was a co-signer. Kobe was,
I gotta holler at him.
we
now.
know you love Kobe. We know that.
Look, if it hadn't been public, it would have been a problem. It was an embarrassment.
I
Is
don't
what
even
did
know
it.
Kobe. I've never met him. Ain't even
I don't have to
seen
meet
in
him. I don't have to
person.
meet him.
Kobe
He can't be.
could be
He
a
can't.
complete
Look,
avatar.
you don't know him, but you know his jockstrap because you be hanging on that bug like that.
hey, can
like
I
it's
ask more?
clockwork.
Can I get one question?
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen.
I agree.
We stepping on Shock's time, and he
second
does
that
have on this spiffy jacket.
Oh, I got
There's a
to
definite jockstrap hanging going on. Definitely jockstrap hanging.
I got one more question.
His jacket dictates that we listen.
So didn't she?
It is tight.
The white stripes.
He doesn't have long.
Ain't that Michael Jackson's old jacket?
It is. I got it from Mike. So look,
that's Kobe's motorcycle jacket.
Didn't Kobe get accused of? Didn't he get accused at that time for anally raping somebody?
Yes. That was the accusation.
Yes.
Ain't nothing wrong with anal rape.
All up in
prison.
Yeah, I think it was a forcibly. I think it was forcibly eating her pussy too. Choking her, some other shit went on. It was freaky as she
but how she had
freaky as she could make it.
But how she
You know what I'm
had
saying?
5 sperms up in her ass?
I mean,
Though?
come
How
on,
she had
man.
5 to 7 sperms up in
We
her
all
ass?
know what the game was.
Ladies
I'm just
and
saying,
gentlemen,
you know,
I apologize. I
he didn't have to
completely
say
lost
shit. He
control
could
of
have
the
shut up
show.
and then
Blame
went-
Lefroy manufacturers.
But it's speak on it, and we
fine,
speaking on it.
Irish
Yes.
Scotch. It is speak on. I'm only joking, guys. No, this is what this show is all about.
That
It is about
definitely a famous
rambunctious
jacket, though, by the way.
conversation, rambunctious discord, and lots of laughs and fun and guy talk. It really is about that tonight.
But bringing it back to Jim Brown. So everybody remembers when Muhammad Ali was going through it, when he was a conscientious objector and that got denied and they were trying to throw him in jail or took away his license and ability to go ahead and practice his craft as a boxer. And they created a summit of all these top black athletes that included Jim Brown, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor, whatever his name was at the time, and all these people.
It was a money thing that they created for helping the community, right?
So what Jim Brown said was, if that was to go down today,
He wouldn't have.
he wouldn't have invited Kobe because Kobe ain't down.
You know, let me
That's
say one
some
thing.
bullshit.
No, it ain't. Come on,
everybody
everybody in
What
basketball know
Kobe
Kobe ain't
has
down.
done
Everybody in basketball know
his
Kobe
private
ain't down.
life.
Nobody want to play with him. Nobody
As
want.
a
Look,
charitable
I'm taking my ball and go
contributor.
If
home.
I go get locked up, I'm calling Rasheed Wallace. I'm not calling
You're not
Kobe
Kobe.
Bryant.
Nobody
Dude. If I
calling
gotta call a
Kobe.
Philly dude, I'm calling
I'm calling-
Rasheed.
you know what I'm
I ain't
saying?
calling Kobe, dude.
Hold on, I gotta walk over there and give him some.
I'm
of that
calling
money.
Kobe.
If I
Kobe
wanna know
got the
what-
bail money. Rashid ain't got no bail
If
money.
I want to know whether to go to Van Cleef and Arpels or what diamond broker to go to, I'm gonna call Kobe probably.
I'm calling Kobe to bail me out. Rashid might not have the bail money. Kobe got it.
No. Rashid got the bail money. He got a blunt for you. Wait for it.
Rasheed will spend it though. Kobe's not gonna spend it on you.
You know
He
what I'm
gonna
saying?
answer the phone.
Hello, my name is Mike Bond, and when I need bail money, I call Rasheed Wallace.
That's right.
and Captain Jack.
Can I ask a question?
For all
That's
your
right.
bail bond needs.
So, I mean, what does that say then, really? Because I believe Jim Brown, ultimately 100%, he's a real man.
Oh, yeah.
He's
But
doing things in the
why?
Hold
But
on.
why?
Listen
But he's
to me.
real. But why not?
Let me
But
tell
why
you
not?
why.
You believe Jim Brown except when it's about Kobe.
Let me tell you why.
Jim
Let me tell you
Brown
why.
did not sell out at all to
Okay.
get that role in 1,000
Okay, we know
Rifles
this.
with Raquel.
I'm not
Welch.
saying this.
No sellout.
He just
No,
fucked
he
the
ain't
hell
no
out of him.
sellout.
He just
I
fucked the
would've
hell out of
fucked
him. I'm
it,
sorry.
That's all. That's
I
all he
would've
did.
fucked it. All I'm saying is
And the
this.
producer.
All I'm saying is this. Jim Brown and people like him, what he was saying is that they were in the community helping people. He don't see none of these artists or these so-called
Don't
cats
leave Michael
out
Jordan
here,
out either. He's
you know what I'm saying? That's doing anything for
Right.
the community and for black kids in the community. They may do them with whatever the NBA has put together and stuff like that, but they're not doing shit for the community.
Any man out here pushing $150, $200 sneakers to parents who cannot afford $75 worth of groceries in a week is an asshole to me.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to tell you.
100.
Now,
100.
I adore Shaq because he put his shoes cheap.
We need some clap on that.
Now I'm telling you now.
For real, man. Come on.
100.
All
Was
the
there a
food,
moment for
Doc.
applause that I
Look,
missed?
How much money do you need?
It's the stadium.
100. Listen, before y'all came in, we were talking about that. All these dudes understand team concept, whether it be football or basketball. If they're down in the fourth quarter and there's somebody on that bench saying, fuck the team being behind, I'm going for my stats. You know what I'm saying? I need 2 more
Right.
points or whatever.
They won't have the
They
contact
all
to do.
know in the locker room that don't fly.
Right.
But when it comes to the community, that's how they get down.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all, I'm getting mine.
Right.
So when is enough
So
enough?
I'm saying we owe these niggas that locker room ass whooping.
So why do we keep on?
We don't have to give it
why
to
do
them,
why
though.
do we?
They gonna give it to themselves.
Hey, why do we
They gonna
keep
rape a
on?
white woman?
That nigga
and
real.
then next thing that.
And
Nigga
to
real over there.
affect commerce, the way we were talking about earlier, one of the ways to affect commerce, whether it's the judicial system, look at entertainment. We can stop if people just stop watching this shit. right? And then say, look, now that's so far left or so far right.
I start endorsing the players who have conscience.
You know what I'm saying? Or more something like that.
Like in Detroit, where we from Bad Boys, Rasheed was a hero. He was a villain everywhere else.
Yeah,
right?
I love Rasheed.
You understand
I love
that,
Rasheed Wallace.
He's a villain everywhere.
Detroit?
Oh, no doubt.
My boy Marty Mars, y'all GM for the Lions. Went to law school with him.
Okay.
He put together a squad for y'all, man.
I'm gonna just say this.
He put together a squad.
He bought us our real first real quarterback since Bobby Lane in 57.
Yeah.
I got to give him that. Now,
what you know about Bobby Lane, boy? Come on.
I know Lions football.
There's a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that.
The only quarterback we've had. Come on, man. I'm a real nigga. I ain't Kobe Bryant. I smoke weed with my homies on fucking TV. I ain't Kobe Bryant.
And for the record, we all have the right to do this under California law.
That's right. That's right.
And I got cataracts. And I got
Captain Jack, nigga.
I got chronic back pain.
If I turn inside, you can see the
only
place
chronic
where it is.
can
Look, I
cure.
turn inside, you can see the
Yo, man, why am I
blue.
off, man? Why you got my mic off and shit? Why am I so low and shit?
But no, on the real
it's
channel,
just
when I
my-
grew
it's
up,
your headphones,
if Jim
yeah.
Brown, Richard Roundtree, or Fred Williamson told you wasn't no man, motherfucker, you ain't
You
no
wasn't
man.
no man. Alan Page, Karr,
I don't know what that changed.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you where it
Come on
changed,
now.
nigga.
When people
I'm
tell
gonna tell you where it changed. It changed as soon as it turned the corner of Philadelphia and Broad Street. Because on some real talk, if Jim Brown or any of them niggas you just mentioned said to me, where you going? Sit your ass still till the show is over, that I ain't no man. Fuck them. I am a man.
That's the problem, Rich.
And
Let me just say this about your time in Philadelphia. I was there.
It ain't about Philly. It's about the fact that Kobe Bryant comes from a lineage of basketball.
No, his
That
daddy
he
don't even
wasn't-
like what he's doing, man. That's why he don't
No,
talk
no,
to
no.
him no more.
That's
Come
a
on,
whole
man.
nother element.
Jelly Green was a real dude.
That's a whole nother element.
He know
and
that.
listen,
That's why you call your
listen,
son-
my
I'm
son
messing
is
with you.
Jelly.
I'm messing with you.
Exactly why I call my son Jelly Bean, because Kobe Bryant's father
He a real
was
dude.
named Jelly Bean, real dude. Now listen, that don't mean that my Jelly Bean gonna be the dude that
Yeah,
y'all
he is.
expect him to be.
Yeah, he is.
That's some
Yeah,
bullshit.
he is.
Wait a minute,
Oh,
though.
Yeah, yeah.
so
Well,
now the next show is
that
going to
Kobe
be about
phenomenon is real.
fathering in
Yes.
the new phenomenon.
Yes. Because
I
that
guess
Kobe phenomenon
that's
is
what we
real.
got to talk
It's a
about.
gang of brothers that was real cats that struggled to make it, and become
what I've learned
affluent and raise their sons, and they don't have that same
What I've
background we
learned
had,
is to
and them sons
accept the
came out to
fact
be
that they're
busters.
not going to turn out like
It's a
me.
gang
No,
of-
what they missed is the thing that all of us parents know. It's not what you teach your kids, it's what they see you do. So you can
See you
if
do.
you're not
Speak
around,
on it.
right? So if Jelly Bean is out here playing and you're playing and his son does not see him every day, he does not get to see the part of Jelly Bean that Jelly Bean does not want his son to see.
Right.
It
You know
makes
what we
him
can-
what we're talking about.
know what we can
That's
talk-
what it comes down to.
You know what we can talk about next
I
week?
know a gang of real cats in Ladera. The sons are Ladera busters.
That's because they didn't
Let me
see
tell-
him. They were
let me
working
tell
too
you-
hard. They didn't get to see him.
Let me tell
No,
you
even
this.
the ones that
Speak
saw
on
him,
it,
but they
Mike
was
Bond.
working so hard to give him so much
Right.
shit.
They didn't get around
Hey,
their friends, got
hey,
the stories. Like
I wanna-
your daddy
Speak on it,
did
Mike
this.
Bond.
I want to tell you that Khalid Muhammad's son put out this book or something about because Khalid Muhammad was in the street and everybody
Malcolm
knows.
X, it's a sacrifice
And,
to make.
and then the son came out and said his dad wasn't there. They had barely have food and stuff like this, and put him out there really bad. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, I mean, that's your, you can say that because that was your life and that was your perspective. And everybody has the way they see how they look at what's going on in their life, right?
It's very few men
But
who can sacrifice enough to make a difference in the black community
And you don't
still
think-
be able to raise their kids to where they see them every day enough
Yeah.
to where their kids see what
And
they
I
need to
understand,
see. You know what I'm saying?
And I understand that, and that's my point. That their mothers should have been. If our
Don't
relationship,
blame the we can't blame the sister for that.
No, listen
because
what I'm
this
saying.
is something that is
Listen what I'm
innately
saying.
given between father and son. It's
No.
not something that mother can do.
I know this.
It's something that your son sees.
I know this, but it's a family. I do think about the family and what kept the family together in the times where
Yeah.
when they was out
Yeah.
at war,
Right.
when they was
Right.
doing this.
Right.
Your father is doing something so
Yeah.
important
Right.
for
Don't
us.
talk bad about him, though.
Exactly.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
You're right about that.
That's
You're
all
right
I'm
about that.
saying.
My mother never did. I met my father twice in my life. She never had a bad word to say about him, so I didn't hate myself.
Yeah.
Man,
Gentlemen,
How about that?
I didn't see my
hate
father
me.
since
We
I
have
was
come
13.
When I grow up,
to
I
the
don't hate.
end of this show. We have got to get this shit here wrapped the fuck on out. And I'm not too proud to put it in those terms. You've been listening to Speak On It. Michael, you're not done yet. Stephen, Shakim,
Steve, Neal, you're not done yet. You got final words. We got time. We're going to roll this out real proper. We've got another show in our throats and in our hearts and in our chests that we need to express, obviously. So, in the conclusion of this particular episode, I'm gonna start with this. I was going to lead with this. You know, I wrote this to myself the other day, so I want to read it to y'all and tell me if this is real or not. Regret is the bitter harvest of not following one's instincts. Regret is the bitter harvest of not following one's instincts. Think about that.
You
Some
wrote
final
that?
words. I did indeed.
You're
Some
some
final
old Walt
words.
Whitman,
Some final words. Stephen Burt, we'll go to you first.
Well, look, this is how I feel, and this is for everybody listening. I hope you tune in for the rest of the time. This might not be a black show, but I'm a black man, and it's gonna stay black as long as I'm talking. As long as we behind, I'm giving that locker room speech to the people because we need to step it up, God damn it, and get it cracking. So expect to hear more of that every time you see me on the mic.
Loving that,
and it
my
might
brother.
not always represent what you think a counselor is, but trust me, it's some counsel involved.
That's some real talk. Speak on it, counselor.
Yeah. How about that?
Now we swing the mic to Michael Bond.
I'll just say this. I find that in all these dialogues I've ever had, that what comes out of it is an oversimplification of a solution. So I'd like to, at this point, just say, let's think more complex about and more nuanced about our answers. In that it's not just about the typical financial empowerment, which is very crucial, but I would enlist all our listeners and everyone who wanted to do better to educate themselves, not only financially about financial independence, but ground themselves in whatever religion, whatever moray they have that brings them home to love who loves them.
All right.
And the rest of it takes care of itself.
Yeah.
Bond. Mike Bond, ladies
Mike
and gentlemen.
Bond.
You're so
Word
sexy,
is
man.
Bond.
You so sexy, dude. You're too sexy.
My
with it.
word
You're
is
too
Bond.
sexy. You're so sexy, man.
I can't hear enough of that.
It's that gentleman jack. It makes you so sexy. Now we swing our mic to the inimitable Shakim Williams coming up at the top of the hour at 8 p.m.
coming
Pacific
quick,
Standard
too.
Time.
Yeah.
Real fast. Get it in.
Well, I just want to say this. You know, there are a lot of issues that we have in the world, right? We all know this. I want to thank LA Talk Live for giving us a chance to give our input or so-called opinion on that, but an output as well. What I will say is this. I think the best way that we're going to do to solve this, you know, have a solution, because it's all about solutions, right? Or, you know, whatever the solution might be. We have to find family again. We have to get that father, son, mother thing going. We have to find ourselves again. Because if we don't find ourselves, regardless of whatever that you want to implement, whatever plan, it's never going to work. Never. Ever going to work until we get the first nucleus of it all. The first cell, the first atom, the first whatever. We have to get that. Until we get it, all this shit that we talk about, and we just talking, and it's just talk. You know what I'm saying? But we're more than just talk. Here at LA Talk Live, I want to thank you again, Richard, for speaking on it. I love this show, and once again, thank you for this incredible panel.
Ladies and gentlemen, the longest rap out in internet history, the inimitable Shakim Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a round of applause. And the last word goes to Steve Neal, Chef Steve Neal, who brought us the wonderful grub tonight. Thank you so much, my brother. There's a blessing in feeding the hungry, and man, I was hungry. I got to tell you, man, indeed. So we're going to leave this last comment to you. Go right ahead.
Well, I'm not going to say too much. I'm just proud and happy to be here with, really, you guys just don't know who I'm at the table with. You just don't know who I'm at the table with. I'm just happy to be here. and on Speak On It, thank you, LA Talk Live, for allowing me to express my opinions and thoughts. Wish I had more time, because I got a whole lot of more shit to say. Especially on Kobe's ass. I love him to death. No. Because I love Kobe, man. I love Kobe. I love it. He plays his ass off.
He's a tenacious
But he's a bitch. Let's face it. Everybody know that. Everybody know that. Even Kareem know that. Richard Karr. Richard Karr. He know that too. He know it, but, you know, again, he like jock straps.
Second longest rap out in internet radio, ladies and
Especially
gentlemen,
Kobe's Jockstrap.
words from the mouth of Chef Stevie Neal.
All on it.
One more time, thank you very much, man, for all the food, the commentary. Don't nobody go nowhere. Hey, listen, coming up at the top of the hour in just about 17 minutes, 18 minutes, we've got the Shock Factor. Man, what a great show. Chef Momo, I hope, will be here tonight. A whole lineup of incredible mystery guests. You've been listening to Speak On It with yours truly, Richard Karr. Wow, what a great show tonight, man.
Great show. Good job, Richie.
All of you guys.
Good job, Richie.
I didn't do the work. Y'all did.
You were in there.
Good job, Stevie. Thank you very much, Stevie.
All right, yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to stay tuned for the Shock Factor coming up next at 8 p.m. Pacific time. My final words, relish in the gift that you are to life because God only made one like you. Keep that in mind. We'll be back next Friday at 6 p.m. Same place, same time. Happy holidays.
tuning into LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than